So what's as good as knowing I'm only a few days till Christmas?
Again at 11 a.m. At the Rock Hill Airport, it was 53 degrees and cloudy. In Charlotte, it was 52 degrees and partly sunny. The NOAA Radio All Hazards transmitter broadcasting from Rock Hill, South Carolina and serving the Piedmont of the Carolinas has been restored to service after an outage that started back in the summer from an apparent lightning strike. We apologize for the inconvenience this has caused to our listeners. Now for the official...
Yep, as you just heard, this station that read this product, that being KHC27 from Rock Hill, South Carolina, is finally back on the air. And to be specific, back on the air after 3 months of them being off the air since September, or September 2024 if you're watching this from the future. And by that month, KHC27 had their problems then. One of them being where for the first 3 weeks starting September 1st, they were degraded or low powered in coverage. Basically their signal not being received as far and distant as it normally would. And then after those weeks had passed by, though still into September, KHC27 would be off the air. And they've been off the air since September, well, from September to yesterday, December 18th. And throughout that time, GSP, Greenville-Spartanburg, South Carolina, the WFO for KHC27 had made multiple announcements saying that KHC27's outage, which had still been going on, was going to continue from this time period, that time period, and this time period, and that time period, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that. Now, I don't blame GSP for doing them. Me and the 5 of them might be doing the same thing. But just for KHC27 being off the air, being the reason they've done all that, and for as long as KHC27 has been off the air for, I've already been wanting KHC27 to be back on the airwaves. And so they are now. And so I have this radio, my RadioShack 12-262, Midland WR-120, and the Midland WR-400 back on KHC27. And I say back on it because throughout the 3 months that they've been off the air, and them also being low in coverage as well, I've been having them on KGY85, one of my 3 local stations that cover my county, Mecklenburg County, North Carolina. And as far as how I can receive them now is concerned with,
the normal high temperature for today is 54 degrees, and the normal low is 30. Record high for today is 76, which occurred in 1984, and the record low occurred in 1884. Sunrise today is at 7:28 a.m. and sunset is at 5:15 p.m.
Well, I say that for how I can receive them, they're pretty much received as much as they previously were before they had their issues. And if that was too much of a response for you, I'll just say that they're just at a decent signal, as they have been. That's all I gotta say. And I had said that KHC27 had started having their issues in September when they had been both on low power and then also later going off the air. Well, I'd made 2 videos discussing that. One in September where they were on low power with their coverage, them being degraded. And then another video after that, one in October, where KHC27 at the time had already been off the air. And me also mentioning something else in that video too. So, as for when KHC27 went off the air, well, September's all they call it. No, not a good time for them. But also something else too. KHC27 in September had went off the air just only a few days after a major tropical cyclone, that being Tropical Cyclone Helene, or Helen, if you will, for what she did. And for the potential of Tropical Cyclone Helene coming into the Carolinas, among other eastern U.S. states, for what she was going to pull in, along with KHC27 being off the air to the point to where they pretty much can't do anything. But at the time, 2 other stations would temporarily be serving the 2 counties that only have KHC27, that being Chester and Lancaster, South Carolina. So out of the 10 counties KHC27 has for their county area, those 2, Chester and Lancaster, would temporarily be served by 2 other stations, since they have no other station to be received.
Whoa, wait, hang on just a moment here. Let me correct myself on what I said here. So, I'm sure anybody being within Chester or Lancaster counties in South Carolina can receive at least some NOAA radio stations. But what I'm saying here is, when it comes to receiving a NOAA radio station reliably in those counties, there's no other one than KHC27.
So, even after Helene had already did her mess, KHC27 was still off the air. And so, with 3 months past that time, and also 3 months past when KHC27 had their issues in September, 2 of them finally being off the air again.
Sunny. Highs in the upper 40s. Saturday night, mostly clear.
Now, 3 months may not sound like too much for you if we were to be talking about anything else outside of broadcast radio stations. But when we are talking about broadcast radio stations, and in this case, NOAA water radio stations, where we're talking about a NOAA radio station, a station that some people may even depend on for their service, being off the air for 3 months and then having to wait until it comes back in again, if it's the best thing you can receive, that is a long time. But fully past that now. So that's good news for this to be issued, and also for KHC27 to be making their 3-month comeback. And also something I should mention as well. So I'd mentioned that I'd filmed 2 videos discussing on KHC27 and their status. Well, one of them I'd actually got a comment on, claiming from one user that in the county that they're in, KHC27 was the best thing that they could receive up until they had their issues. And so, since they're off the air, any other NOAA radio station that they could receive didn't come in as good as KHC27 would. So, for any listeners like that one that gave me a comment, which shout out to you, that missed KHC27 for how long they've been off the air for, and 3 months we're talking, you finally have your station back. And so do I.
Rain was falling. The temperature was 51 degrees. Elsewhere in North Carolina.
And this is all happening just before the holidays, or holidays, or Merry Christ, or Merry Christmas, whatever. The KHC27's just back on the air, and really that's all we gotta know at this point.